But unfortunately, there are times when no matter how much you say and scream and yell and write it down and do whatever you can do, they don't listen. God knew that. And he knew that they were going to have to be allowed to make their mistakes. And whatever bed they make, they got to lie in it. Do you think that the prodigal son's dad wanted his son in a pig pen eating what pigs eat? Absolutely not. Especially with what he had at home. But he knew that pig pen experience would be a change. That would take away or knock down that ego of pig. So they would understand. So they would seek truth. So they would seek God's way. So verse 20 says, so he got up and he went to his father. It says, but while he was still a long way off, his father saw him and was filled with compassion for him. He ran to his son, threw his arms around him, and he kissed him. All of this before the son ever uttered a word. You see, this was a wise father. Now, of course, I know you know this father is God. But what is interesting about this father is he knew that the pig pen experience there would teach him some things about life that he needed to learn. And if he ever saw him coming back, it wouldn't be because he made it rich. It'd be because he fell on his face. I really wanted to say something else, but we're in church. And every now and then, kids need to fall that way so that they get it. Sometimes the world has a way of knocking them on their backside so they'll get it. We want to block the punch. Don't let them get hit. No, not my kid. You want to let them. This father was watching. Isn't it wonderful to know that when you come home, the father's watching? The father's watching because he knows when you come then, you're poor in spirit. Because it was poor in spirit that made you come. That you understood the condition you were in and you mourned that condition. You wanted it to change. And what did you do? You humbled yourself. You see the process? Poor in spirit, mourning the sin, humbled in the process, and he came home. What's going to happen at home? Righteousness. His desire to hunger and thirst after righteousness comes from being with the Father. So he went back to the source. The source that he always knew. He knew when he asked for that money it was wrong. He knew when he went out there and spent all of his money on riotous living it was wrong. He knew that when there was a big famine that come and he was in need, he should have came home and he was wrong. He knew when he went to a citizen of that country that he was wrong. He knew that when he was in the pig pen feeding their pigs that he was wrong. But it took him to be poor in spirit, which made him come to his senses, that gave him this process of hating where he was, evaluating his position, humility, and seeking righteousness coming home. And that's exactly what he did. And awaiting him there was a father who was watching for him, who had compassion for him, who ran to come close to him, fell on his neck, and kissed him. Clearly showing how our Father in heaven does the same thing for us. Waiting on us to return, to come back to where we started. Then, of course, the rest of it is the glory part. The glory part of this, verse 21, it says, the son says to him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and against you, and I'm no longer worthy to be called your son. Do you see how coming to yourself, coming to your senses, or that poor in spirit allows you to see things far clearer? The change allows you to see things better than you saw before. You now got a new vision here. This son repents because of his new vision. He realized, Dad, I've been stupid. I have been running my life and I've been running it in the ground. I need you to take the reins. I need you to be in control. I need you to help me out of the mess that I'm in. When a sinner comes to Jesus, and he is in this phase where before he walked by the beat of his own drum, before his ego led him to places that only Satan could be pleased with, that he would look now and seek God's truth and God's way, because he now has dumped the ego. He's now poor in spirit. He can now follow what Jesus meant, because in those blessings, the kingdom of heaven is yours. Comfort is yours. You'll inherit the earth, and you will be filled. Those are the promises of those first four. And that is exactly what happened for this son. The fatted calf was killed, the son was restored back to the faith, and there was a celebration, as there should be. We need to begin to teach the process of coming to ourselves. When we are sharing with someone who's out there, who's either overtaken in a fault or has never known the truth about Christ, we need to share that to them in the midst of their pig pen. We need to be their voice of conscience in that pig pen to reach out and to help them. This lesson is more than just about what the Beatitudes mean or the prodigal son coming home. It's a charge for us that as we begin to reach up to our God, we'll reach out to this dying community and they get this message. And the only way they're going to get this message, see, you don't go to people when they're satisfied. If we had went to this prodigal son as he was leaving the house, he wouldn't have listened to a word he had to say. Why? Because he was satisfied where he was. He's leaving. I got what I want. I'm out of here. He wouldn't have listened to us. While he was in the midst of all that wild living, had you knocked on his door then, hey, let me share something with you. He's not going to talk to you. It's not going to happen. He's enjoying his wild living. And if you went to him on his way to the citizen in the far country, he'd ask you for some money. He would have thought to listen to what you said, but his actions wouldn't have spoken that. He needs to come to his senses. Now, if we know that it is when people are at their lowest point, where it is easier for them to receive the teachings of Christ, then why wouldn't we go to them when they were in need? Why wouldn't we seize that opportunity for the people we come in contact with that are struggling to help them out of their struggles? To do something for them that would change their life for the better, and that they could see Jesus in the process. That's what this principle means. That we would reach out to those that are in that pig pen. That we would share the old story and help them in any way that we could to better their life. That they may see Jesus in the process. And that they'll receive him as we received him. That's the message. You see, if you have a friend that's caught in denominationalism and they're happy to be there, you won't make any ground with them. They're happy. You get to a friend and maybe they don't even go to church at all, but they're doing pretty good. Satan's allowed them to have some good riches, to enjoy the pleasures of this world, and they're satisfied with that. You're not going to reach them. You're not going to get them. The guy on the side of the road, you'll get him. He needs help. The person in jail or prison, they need help. Someone alienated from their parents because of their stupid decision, they need help. And those are the ones we can reach. But like I said, as we reach up to God, we have to reach out to the dying community, not the satisfied community. Sometimes when we look at church growth, we don't count poor people. And we don't because we think of what people can do for us, not what we can do for them. Wouldn't it be great if we had the rest of the empty pews filled up with people who needed something that we could help them with? People that were struggling in their life, that they really needed help, and they tried church, they played church for a while, but it never really worked for them. And now for them to be where the people have the truth, help them, teach them, that they might serve Christ better. We need to help people come to their senses. But we need to have a mindset to continue, just as we allow that process to save us. We need to continue that process so we can save others. We need to still be mourning sin. And not just sins that happen within the household of faith, but those are happening around us, and we need to step up and be counted for it. We need to reach out to help these people. This summer, as we've been preparing with this, what I want to do with this is that we are going to begin reaching out. We're planning a VBS. And if you were here last year, you remember the VBS we had, very successful. A lot of kids from broken homes. We didn't do much to reach out to those kids beyond what they had here. This year is going to be different. But we're going to reach out to those families. And we're going to show them what it's like on this side. They're going to meet us, and they're going to see how we live and how we act, and then how we love the Lord and how he blesses us. They need to